So, one of the things that we've talked about is finding your own position in relation to certain treat foods. When I work with clients, I'm really, really keen that each person becomes their own authority on how they eat and what they eat, and that they don't read a bunch of stuff that says this is good for you, this is bad for you. Of course, we do have a bit of background information, but in my experience, you're already quite an expert in what's good for you and what's not. And that's not really the issue. The issue is trying to find a relationship with really intense foods like sugar or flour, which actually put quite a lot of stress on your body, but create a lot of taste sensation. In a way, finding that relationship with it that's not like based on some sort of abstract intellectual idea of morality, but is rather based on the body's own feedback about like, oh, I like that, or oh, I felt a bit gross when I ate loads of that, or oh, that was just hit the spot, right? I want you to think about the relationship you'd like to have with food for your whole long life. I'm not really somebody who's in this industry to try to repeat this model of selling you something that's got an auto fail built in so that you come back and buy it again, right? You've embarked on a 2-week program to taste something, to try and get hypnosis into your life as a daily practice, and to experiment with what happens if I start to take in somebody else's thoughts and really start to self-talk myself differently around the way that I'm eating and the way that I am with my body and with my health. And that's great. But ultimately, you've begun a journey of thinking about your food slightly differently. You haven't gone with that old way of stop and start over. You've thought, okay, how can I be playful? How can I try things? How can I approach this from the point of view of the thoughts and emotions behind the actions? When we start to work with the details of our habits in these ways, we embark on a long-term approach of trying to evolve our relationship with food bit by bit by bit. And it's an ongoing journey, in fact. So it doesn't stop tomorrow on the last day of the challenge. You've really started a journey that's forever course correcting. I'm interested in you finding a relationship with food and developing a system for dealing with things like chocolate, which are your way of doing it. You are the authority on how you eat. So today's hypnosis is all about embracing this concept of choice, self-responsibility, not in the sense of stuff I've got to do, a burden of responsibility, but your ability to respond. Your ability to respond to your body's feedback, your ability to respond in a very agile way in social situations when people are offering you stuff. And your ability to respond is in your ability to make decisions and choices for yourself around food. Now, you might decide going forward that actually in my life, I would like to be the kind of person that does eat birthday cake on my birthday and maybe on my partner's birthday. But I'm not going to eat birthday cake when it's somebody who's not in my family or friend circle. So if it's just somebody in the office, for example. So you start to make these little parameters for yourself. Now, be careful, because your brain, if you've done a lot of dieting or rule-based thinking, your brain might want to see these as strict rules, right? And start to weaponize your ability to make decisions against you. I want you to feel like, you know what, I'm a grown-up. I get to decide everything about how I eat. And I'm just going to try and imagine the relationship with chocolate that I would like to have for the rest of my life, and make that happen now.